Oh, the audio's up on the restream, so.
I know that.
Not the restream, just the thing we're watching. Alright, and they're off.
I think this is one of, to kind of just get it out of the way, because Lukey's PB is a 48, I believe, and Andy's PB is, but you never know what might happen.
It might be a close race, we'll have to just wait and see.
Rusty, he hasn't played the game in quite a while. Five times, never know.
No, yeah, just for the record, LukeyMooMoo actually has a 59-48. I guess Pancakes might cut out a little bit while I was trying to say that, so it just sounded like he got 48. So yeah, he casually got world record. But it's fine though.
That's my mic really low. Oops.
Yeah, no, it's all good. He was probably just using emulator anyways. All right, so So yeah, you're noticing that they're trying to suck the ghosts really fast, and sometimes you might see them spin in the vacuum like Andy just did right there. And basically, what they're trying to want to do, they're trying to get it so that the ghost spins in the vacuum, rather than just does the wave animation because it's slightly faster. Alright, so Lukey just got the key from the wardrobe room, so now we are going to be heading over to the hallway here in Area 1, and we're going to start to see some different ghosts, actually. Alright, so right there we just saw that they're trying to suck up Neville, which is the first portrait ghost, which is a new type of ghost, compared to what we've already seen, which essentially what it is each portrait ghost has 100 HP, and they've got something to them that will make them show their heart, and you gotta figure out what it is. So for the first one, it's pretty self-explanatory, just look away from him for a while, and then he'll yawn and show his heart. Appears that Pancakes is currently having a bit of mic troubles with it, but I will go ahead and explain. So we're here at the first boss, which is Chauncey, Since there are 4 bosses in the game, there are 4 areas. So this is the end of the first area right here. Now, Chauncey, is this ghost baby that just loves to cry and complain. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit him with balls because I guess that makes sense. So right here, you're noticing that Luki's trying to dodge the rocking horses, and he's going to get in this very specific spot and hold the vacuum up. Not all the way up, but looks like he's holding all the way up. He still got it though, so what he did right there was he hit in this very specific spot, and then at the last second just moved down, so that way the ball will go right into the vacuum. Now that's the first cycle. There are 2 cycles. He let go of him a little bit above 50, and the reason being is because if he got him under 50, Chauncey would have done a slower cycle, which we will see from Andy's side, because unfortunately he got him down to 48, so he wanted to get him a little bit above 50, and he got hit by the rocking horse for the second cycle, and this is because while he's doing that, he has invincibility frames, and normally the balls will like to hit you and damage you, but with that, he's actually using the invincibility frame so that the ball will just go right to this vacuum instead of getting hit, which will make him do 2 cycles. 2 cycles is currently the lowest number of cycles known to complete Chauncey. Kinda. I would also advise chat to not try to scare each other intentionally. Yeah, this is a spooky game, but that does not mean you should necessarily spook everyone. I really don't know. But yeah. Alright, so area 2. You're noticing that Lukey is pointing his flashlight in a very specific spot. He's holding it all the way up and kind of moving to the side a little bit there. So what that does is that it prevents any of the ghosts from spawning in the hallway with certain angles, and so yeah, it's just doing that just so it can save a little bit more time instead of actually getting scared. Hello, Pancakes, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Alright, nice, nice. Your mic sounds really good right now.
Are you missing that double? It's not the easiest one. In the wrong way, you can easily miss it. All the Shy Guy doubles, that's good.
So yeah, since these Shy Guys are close to each other, it's just ultimately faster to get them in doubles. There was a way that Taz found that you could get them all in a sextuple combo, however, that is not any slower, or it's not any faster in RTA. Unfortunately, LukeyMooMoo did not get early release, so, and what I mean by that is, essentially there's an RNG factor in here. That's the first factor of RNG in the run, where the floating Orlindas will spawn, and pretty much they can show their heart 10 seconds earlier compared to when they normally do it. Hopefully we'll see Andy get him so he can be a little bit, catch up a little bit to Lukey.
What Lukey doing here, or what Lukey is doing here, is a poster skip. just there's a poster on the other side of the wall covering a button that we need to press. And you can just essentially grab that through the wall. It gives around like 4 seconds. And
Also, I saw Andy did not get early release, so there's no advantage or disadvantage.
next sort of section, it's like really RNG, but it's got a good bit of RNG on it, which we need to find in 3 of the first 5 rooms that we've already been in. Completely random.
So yeah, there's 50 boos in the mansion, however we only need 40 for no out of bounds. So we're gonna go right here, and Lukey is gonna try to get a text skip. And what that is basically, if you catch a boo, right after catching a boo, if you suck up a cloth, the game will register that the last thing sucked up in the vacuum was the cloth, so it will completely break the event where Geekhead calls you and gives you text. Unfortunately, the boo was in the tablecloth, so it's not too much slower compared to him being like in the china cabinet and him looking all over the room forward, try to get this text skip. Wasted just a little bit of time there, unfortunately, but he got perfect RNG for the anteroom, the second room.
And pretty bad RNG in the wardrobe room. It costs quite a bit of time to get bad RNG in, unfortunately, but
I didn't even realize, apparently, I think Andy might have got into the normal mansion originally on accident. So yeah, he's gonna have to redo the beginning of Area 2. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's quite a bit of time loss right there. Maybe we'll see him get early release, I don't know.
I think he did that just so he could show off ER. Just really wanted to get early release.
So as you pretty much could have already figured out by now, boos can hide in certain items in a room. Not every item, but like pretty much a lot of things that you can interact with, he's pretty much hiding in there. Now, the boo, at any given time and point, he can switch to another object. So let's say if you're one side of the room and he switches to another one on the other side of the room, that can lose time. That's mainly just RNG. You can't really do much about it. The best you can try to do is just manage it by knowing what the faster way to do is if he were to move to the other side of the room, or if there's more objects around one side of the room compared to another. An example of that you might see later on in Area 3.
He's gonna be lining up for 2 doubles here. Again, with these grabbers, their hitboxes are strange, so they can be very... I guess both of them. What are we doing here? He's gonna grab the boo at the same time as the medallion, and he's going to save and quit, which allows him to skip the EGOD text. For the fire medallion, a set sort of pattern for the butler who moves in the hallway. If he's like really far to the left, it can lose a good few seconds, but save warping means he's pretty much always going to be to the right.
Alright, so yeah, compared to so pretty much for LukeyMooMoo right there, the butler was all the way in, mostly towards the right side of the hallway, and again, this is because of the whole save warp on the fire medallion. Whereas before we used to do it, we just used to get the fire medallion and then get the boo, and then clear the room. In order to get out of the room, we had to light some candles, because the door for the mirror room was pretty much had like spikes on it, you couldn't get out. And also in doing so, sometimes our butler would just be like a certain cycle, so depending on how fast or slow you go, you could potentially get a bad butler.
There was another thing that Lucky could have done in the laundry room, which Mario's hat, at the same time that the chest cutscene happens, which just allows you to get for the chest. His hat kind of overrides the chest cutscene, which just gives you a short little.
Oh, Lucky! Oh, okay. Yeah, so he was going to try to go for, because he has the Japanese version, there is a Japanese exclusive glitch to where if you capture the boo while you're going into this mouse hole here, it will also skip EGAD's text. It will break the event pretty much where he calls you, saving you a bit more time, especially if EGAD were to give you some longer text. But yeah, he can still do it, getting the boo in the treasure room going on his way out. But he got hit by one of those elemental punchers. Fell back up quad. Alright, that was sick.
The hidden room is a pretty hard room to where the boo is, because it's such a tightly packed room and there's like, he can be anything. It's pretty hard to know where he is.
Yeah, sometimes you think he's in one chest, but he's in another, so it kind of throws you off sometimes. Andy almost accidentally just let that fifth boo escape, but he caught him in time.
Can also sometimes be incredibly annoying. Sometimes you can get them. Sometimes VAG you for like 10 seconds. They can be very annoying sometimes.
Also, Rip LukeyMooMoo lost a third of a second right there. The reason why I say this is because the previous portrait ghost that he just sucked up, Melody Pianissima, the ghost pianist, will give you, once you activate her by hitting all the instruments and they start playing the Super Mario Brothers overworld theme, after which you go to the piano and then she's just right there, and then she'll have a mini game for you where she'll play either one of two songs, the underwater theme from Super Mario Brothers or the athletic theme from Super Mario Brothers 3. And he got the athletic theme from Super Mario Brothers 3, so the reason why he lost a third of a second is pretty much because for every song she plays, there'll be 3 options, and for the water is the first option, and for Super Mario Bros. 3, it's the last option, so he has to hit control stick up and then A, as opposed to just mashing A. Oh, Andy. Oh, Andy, no.
I thought he got it. That would have been so close.
Yeah, he could have still got that. Maybe, but like, yeah, that's unfortunate. So he's, yeah, this is gonna be the old way we used to do it, essentially.
Most of the time, the way people fuck or mess that up is they end up grabbing the medallion before they catch the boo, which means the boo goes into Clairvoyant's room, which is dark, and it doesn't light up until Area 3, so Area 3 to catch that boo, which is a pretty significant time loss.
Lukey getting that skeleton double with a stun. It's actually the slightly harder and slightly faster way of doing it compared to spraying one of the skeletons with water and then having them group up. So here we are, second boss, Bogmire. Would you care to explain how to do this pancakes?
So, it's just like any normal ghost, but first of all you have to hit him with one of these sort of shadows. It's essentially just a normal ghost, just pull away. But sometimes he can drag you a bit, and when that happens, it gets a lot harder to get him one cycle, as Lukey did just there. And you need to hold the control stick in the opposite direction until you regain control. Do for any other ghost, but Bogmire has a pretty strong pull. Hard to one cycle him sometimes.
And he's just getting punched around by these elemental punchers. It's really unfortunate. It's like the punching bag for them, unfortunately, at this point. Still got triple though, so that's hurt the other one, so that's fine.
Yeah, that quad that Lukey managed to get, it can be pretty hard sometimes. Technical room to do. Requires a fair bit of practice.
Oh, that poison mushroom. Oh, Andy, no, no. Okay, so Andy lost about like 10 to 15 seconds right there by getting hit by the poison mushroom. That's pretty much how long you have to wait for Luigi to get out of the poison, the shrunken poison state. Yeah. Alright, so the Boo escaped into the kitchen, so he's gonna have to go get that when he goes in the kitchen, which will be very soon, as a matter of fact. Inconveniencing him only slightly, and Lukey will be showing us Mario's current state, which is very unfortunate. I don't even know how that happened, but it just happened. Also, I noticed Minnie didn't actually remind me this time, because I'm pretty sure he might have forgot to, but I remembered actually just now to explain about the booze and what we're doing with them. So, so yeah, pretty much it's called R pumping strat, and what that was originally found by a YouTuber named ZennyWitch7 in 2012, and perfected by a Tazzer named Cooper in 2013, and what happens there is they found that when you hold L and then hold R for every 10 HP, and after 10 HP you let go and quickly repress R and then hold for another 10 HP, so on and so forth, you will keep the Boo in place. And every time you R pump, this Boo will do a cackle noise, and the Boo has about 15 cackles, so at most, just by R pumping, you can, you can get a Boo that has 150 HP just down by R pumping. There are some ways to manipulate certain ghosts, like that have 200 HP, in order to get them one cycle. For instance, mainly the Breaker Room Boo.
The room that Luigi just completed, the tea room, the ghosts can be like actually grab onto at times because of all the plates flying around. That can make for some annoying time losses, and that Boo can also be, well, because he can be in any one of the chairs or thing on the table or all the way to the left, and it can be second time loss.
Alright, so Lukey just captured Miss Petunia with the ice, which was one of the 3 elements. We've already got all the 3 elements, which are obviously fire, water, and ice. Now, with that, apparently you just spray Miss Petunia's hot bath with ice, and it'll freeze her and show her heart. I guess that's a thing. Also, that feeling Miss Petunia's like a pig ghost, I guess, or something. I really don't know. That's just Nintendo. They got quite a lot of interesting ideas.
You're not getting the best of RNG. Down to what's called right side Nana, where you suck up Nana over to the right side, because there's 2. Everything apart from 1 is over to the right, and also Luigi missing the Boo. That could be very, depending on what way he goes. Yeah, back to right side Nana. There's a higher chance of the Boo being over to the right, so it is slightly faster. To the right, but and sometimes because he could just be all the way over to the left after you be all the way over to the right, and it's pretty bad. Luigi cleaning up that Boo pretty well. The Bogmar. See how he does? Oh, he must have touched a button, which causes Bogmar to spawn in a different place. Cool, but still pretty good. 25 health isn't too bad. Type 1. Luigi coming up to Moonshot, annoying sort of tricks in the game. It's not really a trick, one of the most annoying parts of the game, because if it looks like you're gonna... It's really weird.
Yes, but that way essentially just blew up the moon, which is in the mansion. Because that makes sense. Space and the moon are literally right inside the mansion, because like there's just this giant gaping part of the mansion that you never get to see. It's invisible, but then you go into it and you're just teleported to space. And yet Luigi can breathe, because like I guess that makes sense. In Mario Galaxy, Mario could also breathe in space, because that's fine.
Some magic road that Luigi can walk down. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So now Andy will learn of Mario's unfortunate circumstance.
You can get in all the triple in that room. Pretty good. A game with the grabbers that can be. Gonna do, or what Luke's gonna do, is go back to the Area 1 hallway where Goose was to clean up the rest of the booze and get one extra portrait ghost. Part that's like RNG. I don't know. RNG, but like it's a little bit more RNG than most areas of the game. A good bit of time loss.
Also, Lukey with the no music. Sorry, go ahead. What you're saying?
Say about the you have to play like hide and seek to unlock them. Oh, Lukey!
Oh, Lukey with the double. Oh, and he gets it. Okay, actually, wow. I never even tried to go for that. That's like, I just started going for that now.
So then, like a few days ago, but I messed it up. They broke off.
Oh. Another little fun fact about those twins. Well, actually, two fun facts, really. So for one, it was found that you could actually get one of the twins out of bounds. So technically, you might be able to get them in a double and get them out of bounds. So that way, it'll actually still clear the room, even though they clipped out. But Luigi will not clip out, so it'll just make it faster instead of having to suck them up. Especially, it would probably help a lot more on the no to balance normal mansion category. Also, another thing about those twins, and yes, I remember it properly this time. In the U.S. version, they are named Henry Ford and Orville Wright after the, or no, they're just named Henry and Orville after Henry Ford and Orville Wright is what I meant to say. After the iconic American inventors of both the car and the plane, hence why they're also in the car and the plane. However, in the Japanese version, they are known as Wong and Ted. And we see Luki right here, just doing about a minute and a half of mashing text on Madame Clairvoyant, who will tell us everything we need to know about Mario and what's happened to him and who's behind it. And pretty much like, yeah, it's about 15 seconds faster on Japanese. So in total, Japanese saves about 20 seconds off the US. Did I say Wong? I meant to say Wong and Ted, but okay. Like Theodore, you know, the shorter version. Yeah.
Yeah, I think chat may have misunderstood what you said there.
Yeah, I know. I speak a bit fast sometimes. I don't know. I just like to get all my thoughts out there.
Andy opting not to go for the double there. It's unfortunate. Planning on going for it and just didn't get the setup right. For this one. Oh, okay, not getting it.
Oh, and Luki's actually. So, when a ghost gets stuck behind an object, especially for Madame Clairvoyant's sake, behind her chair or something, what can happen is that you can actually pull the stream out much further than it normally would go.
I just watched that. That was a really weird suck-up.
Yeah, but it still worked, so I mean, like, hey, you know, as long as it worked, I guess.
Or probably, I'm pretty sure she's the only ghost that, to up and put back into her painting. So, actually, sort of spin the controls, or the C stick, actually towards her to drain her health quick. Won't be able to drain her health properly.
So yeah, so now Luki is in the safari room, and there are these elemental twirlers here. And what he's doing, he's spraying ice before they spawn, so that when the twirler spawns, his element will already be taken away, so we can just suck him up as normal. Which is a bit faster than spraying him and just watching him slowly take his element away. And the reason why this works is also because since he had to get ice, you could have figured, like, why didn't he just get fire and take away the element? Well, it's much like how logic works with certain things. So, for instance, fire, you can counteract that with water, and you can freeze water as well with ice. So, the elemental twirlers over there have the water element, so in doing so, he essentially freezes the element out of them. Yeah, I like to give accurate information though, Foop, so those are the blue twirlers, but they're not blues, so they have an element, so they're elemental. And yeah.
Bulasis, which is for most people to be probably the hardest boss in the run, or just in the game. In one cycle, which Lukey will be trying to do. Pretty much, you just go to this end of the, and you gotta walk over in a straight line to the left, so they all just line up in one big line, and you shoot your ice shot. Hope that you got a lot of them. Oh, not quite getting there. But looking like you should get a pretty good 2-cycle. Okay, we're good.
Look, you seem to handle that pretty well. Yeah, it's also quite a big slap in the face. Anyone who played that casually, considering how hard it could be most of the time. But with the setup we just did there, that most runners do, where they walk back with the ice and shoot an ice ball right as they get to the other unicorn. A lot of the time they'll group up and get a lot of them together. Sometimes you can actually get all 15 of those boos that comprise Bulasis with one ice ball and just suck them up and have a really fast one cycle. So we would like to go for that most of the time, but of course it's kind of dependent on RNG, depending on the way the boos fly. And also the way you move.
Really lucky to get that. I've had it happen to me like the whole time I've been playing this. It's really rare. So when you actually get it, because like it's like quite a big time save if you do get it.
Ooh, and you're having a bit of a rough time with those twins right there. You got bombed by by Orville. Oh, and they he just got ran by Henry Ford. That probably didn't sound good, but still, that wasn't lucky.
Ooh. Andy losing Twins Boo. Twins Boo is it's quite fast. Like if you just let it sort of run around, it'll most other Boos. And Lukey coming up on. Usually it isn't too bad, but you can get really unlucky. So what it is, it's a ghost that randomly shows his heart early release when it's guaranteed to happen at some point. For Uncle Grimly, it's not really guaranteed. And Lukey getting pretty good Grimly. I think might be Blue Hits has world record for the worst Grimly, 40 seconds. I think someone else might have it now, I'm not sure.
Oof, Andy did not get the tech skip from Master Bedroom, unfortunately. And that's even worse because Master Bedroom, where Lydia was, on console, it can be quite laggy sometimes, so especially when Egad talks to you, it can be a lot slower than most times, so that, especially if he has longer text anyway, so sometimes he might get longer text, might give you longer text.
Not going for Breaker Boo one cycle, unfortunately.
Andy's kind of just yelling in the clairvoyant's ear right now, but he started talking to her in the next to her chair right there, so I think he's got it.
You can do it in the room that Lukey is in, the cellar, but it's pretty hard. It does save seconds, but it can go very badly wrong and you can lose. Lukey getting really bad RNG. You pretty much want him to be anywhere, because you have to do a setup to get it through from you're usually on a bit of time.
Andy also having really, he's pulling Clairvoyant, that's actually, I think that's the first for the tournament seeing that, especially from both runners. That's, normally it doesn't happen with most other runners. I don't know what happened there, that just kind of started pulling Clairvoyant really far, but greatly expanding the length of the vacuum trail. He's also not having a good time with this Boo right here. He's in the top left. In the little drawer there, but yeah. Alright, he found it.
Mario!
Lukey's going. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to go for a toy soldier double. He might get one unintentionally here. Might not. No, he won't get one. Alright. So you can opt to go for the toy soldier double by getting the blue one first and then getting the pink one at the same time. And as it seems, apparently Andy's, I guess he's forfeiting. Understandable, he had quite a bunch of unfortunate things, unfortunately anyway.
That sucks.
Oh yeah.
Getting nice is like really good. You can be like really good pace, and then maybe half focusing, and you get to Safari and realize you forgot nice. Pretty big time loss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, Lukey is not having the best time. He double tackled a lot, so he's going into the ceramic studio where Jarvis is, but as one of the optional portrait ghosts. Essentially, for Not Bound, we do not get that whatsoever, but you do get that in the 100% categories and the all portraits categories as well as some other smaller, less played categories. Unfortunate for Andy, but he had a good run. Definitely still put in the effort, so I mean, yeah, props to him, dude, for making it through this far. Meanwhile, Lukey is going to Pipe Room, and he is going to the room and he's not actually going to clear it. Why? Because all he needs to accomplish in that room for No Out of Bounds can be done without clearing the room. Obviously, clearing the room would be slower.
Convenient that you don't have to clear the room. Any rooms that you don't have to clear the room without like being able to fully access it.
So he's just gonna free some toxic sludge, so I'm calling it right here, and turning the wheel so we can shut the waterfall off to get that key.
So, Lucky doing Western Boo cycle. This is a pretty tough one-to-one cycle because of the ice. It's hard to sort of move around the buoy without You have to make really... Fortunately, he didn't get it, but setting him up for an easy 2-cycle.
Alright, so Luigi is coming up to the final portrait ghost before the final boss, which is known as Van Gogh. And pretty much what Van Gogh is he's like a French painter, and for some reason he was the cause of all the normal ghosts that spawn in the mansion. For instance, the gold ghost, the purple plunger, the blue twirler. I'm calling them by their names that they're generally defined as from Nintendo, but still, for a bit more reference, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s. As I believe it was someone in the chat who just called them by that. But yeah, pretty much. So he has a painting of each of these normal ghosts, and what he's gonna do is he's going to, because he finds it, he's like, alright, so you're gonna do a battle right quick, and he's going to spawn 3 of the ghosts, of the same ghost from each painting. You have to get them in a triple. It's the fastest way to do it, is to get them in a triple, because they're right next to each other. And after you do that, they just suck up Van Gogh, just like normal, because he's upset that you destroyed all his creations. On the PAL Hidden Mansion, however, which is, PAL is the European version, the PAL Hidden Mansion is quite different. It's, for one thing, it's flipped much like a Mario Kart mirror mode, and also the ghosts are quite different. And even for Bulassus, the 3rd boss that we just saw earlier, which Andy's actually at right now, currently, on the PAL Hidden Mansion, Luigi will ride around on his vacuum, which I'm pretty sure that's where they got the inspiration to have Poltergeist 3000 as a cart that you can drive in Mario Kart DS. But pretty much my point is that for PAL, for Van Gogh, there are 5 of each ghost instead of 3, which is, granted, it's a bit harder, and especially if you're using AR codes and you're about to get the last ghosts that are 5, and then you leave the room and come back, all of them will spawn at the same time, causing the game to crash. Just a little fun fact.
Luigi almost getting all the triple.
Yeah, it's pretty nice for the most part.
This one, pretty much the last portrait ghost. Has to get the last required through. Getting good RNG in that.
So if they're an HP ghost, he's gonna have to get this in 2 cycles. It's impossible to 1 cycle at this point. So he got him out at 141. He can 2 cycle with this, most definitely. But because he held the vacuum out and started walking towards the boo started double cackling, so what he could have done is he could have aimed the vacuum away from him, but he still got the 2 cycles, so that's fine.
Yeah, still get it.
I thought they double cackled too much to the point where he was going to escape and get a 3 cycle.
Mario!
Luigi on pace for a 102, which is pretty good considering he hasn't played the game a long time, apart from 1 run he did earlier, and it is a race, so good run from him. If he can finish off with the 2 cycle.
So he's looking to get about a 1 hour, 2 minutes, 16-second time with a 2-cycle King Boo. Yeah, so pretty much how it goes is for the four bosses, it's first one's 2-cycle, as low as it can get down to. Second one's 1 cycle, and third one's 1 cycle, and the fourth one is 2 cycles. So if you remember the Rush song 2112, that basically just tells you the lowest amount of cycles that you can get. That's kind of how I like to remember sometimes. So essentially what's happening right now is King Boo is actually in a Bowser suit that he can possess to actually harm Luigi, and what he's going to want to try to do right here is he's going to want to suck up the spike balls that Bowser will throw when you stand a certain distance away from him, which he's doing behind the pillar. He's going right behind there, so Bowser can instantly throw his spike balls after his little flame. And he pops his head off because Bowser gets so low. And he can just suck up King Boo from right here. And what Luki's going to want to do is he's going to want to get King Boo to at least 250. Oh, okay, so he will be getting a fast 3-cycle, at least that's what he's going to try to want to go for. So in order to get a 2-cycle, he would have wanted to get him around 250 or lower. Lower is always better, obviously, but the reason why he wants to do that is because, well, that'll just guarantee you pretty much the 2-cycle, and he let him go at 202 HP. You'd think, why didn't he just get him in a 2-cycle? Well, for one thing, it'd probably be kind of impossible to do, and another thing is also, he lets him go at a little over 200 HP, because if he were to get him under 200 HP, Bowser would put his head on backwards and run around the stage, which would make him lose more time, and...
Pretty good run.
Nice, congrats to LukeyMooMoo, the 102.35. He will be moving on to round 2 against Joven 3. And yeah, congratulations to him. So if Lukey and Andy would want to come in for a quick interview at this time, they may wish to do so. If not, that's perfectly fine. Hey, that's Joe. Oh, wait.
Hello.
Hello. What?
Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
It's all good. Alright, so how's everyone doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Well,
It was a good race. Apologies to Andy for the bad start. I didn't
Oh,
actually know what
that's
happened,
fine.
but
Okay, so I can actually explain it. So I accidentally went into Normal Mansion at Boo Release. I didn't think about the fact I could just get the boos and then save and restart.
oh no.
Then,
Oh.
what else was it that happened? Because a lot freaking happened.
I-
Um,
I'm gonna rewatch this VOD afterwards just to have a cheeky look.
please do. It's hilarious.
Okay.
There's like 5 different things that just made me go, no, I'm not finishing this. I can't.
That's fair.
I know.
You know what? That happened to me last year, so don't worry. We've all been there.
Yeah. That's the first run I think I've ever been that far behind. Like, my timer's still going. I'm at like 6 minutes behind on Rooftop. Oof.
Oh well, you put in a good effort.
He did. Very
Yeah.
good.
I did try.
It's all that matters, man.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
You
I'll
can
try
always
harder
try.
next
You can
time.
lose this bracket. So there's no big deal. Did happy for
Oh well.
Oh well.
But yeah, that was definitely a race. Like I mentioned previously, Lukey, you'll be moving on to round 2 with Joven, and yeah,
What's Joven's
So-
time?
it's good.
Oh, good. That's always nice to
58.
hear.
14, I think.
Oh, so you got a
Good
little
for you.
bit of hard racing academy. Good.
Free win for you.
Yeah.
Free win. Clearly a free win.
Yes, most definitely.
100%.
So yeah, all right. That this has been another tournament match. I've been Glitch PhD
And pancakes.
and Pancakes. Yep. And yeah, we will see you guys. When will we see you guys actually?
Never.
On
What?
Thursday.
No. We will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. With Pancakes versus A2 Rhombus.
Oh my.
Ooh.
No one's currently going to be commentating on that, so I'm gonna see what happens with that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, good shit, lads.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Nice race for you too.
We'll have to race again sometime. Maybe like do it like an official thing.
Yeah.
Match.
All right, we're gonna have to leave the chat right now because we're gonna have others waiting. So yeah.
No worries.
Later.
See you.